Hey, how you doing, Adam? Here, the date is currently 12/6/2017. I'm in my room right now instead of the garage, because my computer kind of broke, and so, I have to set up this situation. Well, I stole Dad's computer. I commandeered it, which has to be hooked up to a TV to be, operational, so, so I just brought the microphone upstairs. I was like, I'll just bring everything upstairs. So I'm in my room right now instead of the garage, so if it sounds a little less echoey, that's why. So how have I been? I went to an open mic last week. I didn't actually play anything, but, I was just kind of going there to, spectate, just to, scout the grounds or whatever. I was planning on doing one yesterday, but a bunch of things went wrong yesterday. It was supposed to rain right around the time that I was supposed to get on the train and go to media, and, I didn't want to get the guitar wet because I don't have I don't have a guitar case, so the guitar would have gotten wet, and also there was a couple other things that went wrong, like my computer breaking yesterday, so that was one thing. Although that wouldn't have affected the travel to the open mic, and there was something else that went wrong. I forget what it was though. Oh, it was I had to give Dad $10, or I gave up my $10 to Dad. Because we're kind of out of money for food, and I was like, because I needed the $10 to get on the train to go to media, but I just gave it to him because he wanted coffee, so I just gave it to him. So I'll just go next week. I have a couple songs that I want to play. I know which two songs I want to play. I want to do this first open mic, without announcing it at all. Oh, fucking damn it. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, there's this kid that keeps knocking up on... I probably shouldn't have told him my address when he asked me, because I go outside and throw the football sometimes, and this kid, he came up to me. I was like, okay, I'll throw the football with the kid. And he asked where I live, and I gave him my address. And since then, he's been knocking up daily. Sometimes multiple times per day. And I have no idea how to deal with that situation. I give in sometimes, but there's that thing there with an adult man hanging out with a child that isn't his. Everybody's gonna be like, oh well, what's going on there? And so it's just because kids are fun. Kids are cool, but there's just people get fucking suspicious of that sort of thing, and I don't know how to deal with this situation without breaking the kid's heart, and I wish society weren't so goddamn suspicious of adult men. It's kind of fucked. So I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do an open mic next week, for sure, because I was really, really definitely into doing it yesterday, and I definitely would have gone there yesterday if all those things hadn't happened. I'm actually, the big thing was having to giving up the $10 to my dad. I didn't have to give it up. I gave it to him. He gave it to me in the first place, but, so it's, because I had to get the train to get up there, but it's no big deal. When I went last week to the open mic, the funny thing was, I was the youngest person there, definitely by 35 years. So, it was it's a strange night, but just my intuition is just telling me to go back there and do an open mic there. First of all, because, I haven't renewed my license yet, and, I can't get into bars anyway with that. Well, because they card everybody going into those bars, and they do the fucking scanner thing, so... I have to go get my license renewed, and then I can start playing bars any bar. But before that, I want to get a couple practice ones in at this place, because it's a welcoming. Cause, elderly people are. Well, it feels kind of wrong to call them elderly, because when I think of elderly, I think of 75 and older. But old people are generally nice, non-competitive. They're never trying to compete with you on the sly or anything. They're just very accepting, and I feel like I could get a couple practice ones in there. I could say on my Facebook, I'm going to be doing. It's a place called the Coffee Beanery, I could say on Facebook, I could be like, I'm going to be playing an open mic if anybody wants to come, But I want to get a couple practice ones in before I do that. Just to get a feel for it before I, make just to test out the waters. Because there's always that thing in your head that's like, because you think you're talented, but there's always that thing that's like, what if I'm delusional? Like sometimes, because I feel like sometimes my songs are good, I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then I think, wait, what if I'm delusional? What if I'm just, because there are people that, write songs, like a lot of amateur people. They write songs and they think they're just so much better than they are, or they don't recognize the mistakes that they're making. And I guess it's that Dunning-Kruger effect thing. I'm always like trying to determine whether or not I have the Dunning-Kruger effect, like, because it goes both ways with that. Like, you can be really bad and think you're good, but you can also be really good and think you're bad. And so I'm always like trying to like lean toward thinking I'm bad. I probably shouldn't consciously try to do that, but there have been moments where I'm thinking like, oh, this is such garbage. Or actually, most moments when I'm listening to my album or something, or I'm listening. Because I do shamefully have to admit that I listen to this stuff every single day, just to because I'm looking for what's wrong with it. I think mostly, and also like. What did I do right? I'm constantly fucking just like looking for things that I did right or wrong, or just trying to imagine it from the perspective of somebody listening to it for the first time, which is a very difficult thing to do. But yeah, I'm trying to but I think most of the time I feel like this is such fucking dog shit, or it's I feel like the influences are obvious, like, oh, they could see right through this. They could see all my tricks. But actually, I was just listening to what the fuck is that song called? The Who song, the Won't Get Fooled Again. If you think about whoever's fucking Robert Daltrey or whatever fucking singing, I don't know, I forget who sings in the Who, but if you listen to his voice and think Paul McCartney, his voice is very Paul McCartney-ish, but I didn't realize that until I thought Paul McCartney, like as he was singing, I was like, I was trying to consciously make him sound like Paul McCartney in my head by thinking the word Paul McCartney. But it didn't even occur to me before I thought that. Well, I guess, it's kind of a redundant thing to say, or I don't know if redundant's the right word, but you get the idea. Yeah, so I don't know whether or not, my influences are obvious, Like when I listened to the album I made a couple months ago, or finished a couple months ago, all I can think of is OK Computer ripoff. And fucking just I get this fucking ball of just pain and like embarrassment listening to it. Just like, oh God, I wasn't being original enough. This is fucking so painfully obvious that it's just a fucking ripoff of OK Computer. And it's those kinds of feelings. And I think that's what makes me, I think that's the most, like, just feeling like I'm just completely exposed for being a fucking fraud, I think is my, my, big insecurity. But see, now there's a part of me that's saying that because I've heard other musicians say, like, oh, I'm going to be exposed as a fraud, like like feigning like humility, I guess. And so there's a part of me that's like paranoid that I'm the am I feigning humility? I could be. It's very hard to get to the bottom of. There's that Alan Watts thing that's like, you always gotta be hiding from, whatever. Like, you're always trying to, like, pull magic tricks off, or you're, like, positioning yourself in a position where it's like you're sort of ignoring something, but, acknowledging that it's there at the same time. Trying to do two things at once, I think, is, what I'm saying. Like, quantum superposition, two states at once. I don't know if the last bit of that made any sense. It probably did. Yeah, so we're at 10:05, but I don't know. I might have left a bigger gap in there than I should have when I paused it. No, I didn't. Okay, we're done. Goodbye.